What's up, everyone? It's me, Adam Prime, and we are back for another blazing Toku Moviethon.
Sponsored by the Toku Brew Podcast.
With me, as always, is my co-host.
I'm Stormy.
And this week, we are talking about either you can call it Kamen Rider, X Super Sentai, SuperHero Taisen, or just SuperHero Taisen. And this was released back in 2012. And was one of the first times Super Sentai and Kamen Rider had teamed up.
Wow, really? It took that long?
One of the earliest examples, at least in the more modern sense.
I guess so.
I should say.
Like a group movie kind of thing, like a crossover.
Exactly. It was quite a movie. I'm gonna open this one up right away. Like, if last week was the peak, the best part, one of my favorite movies, even of just outside of this, and even a couple of the other ones, we had to hit a low point at some point. I don't like this movie. I don't like this movie at all. I have watched this movie before. I've watched this movie for, multiple times. And this is not this is probably the third or fourth time I've seen it, and I still don't like it.
Wow. Because, this was my first time watching it. It's I completely agree. It's not, particularly,
it's not
good,
even
but, I feel it's not particularly good. It's not bad in a way that it's, fun to, make fun of or anything like I know some team-up movies are. It's just kind of I walked away from it and I was just I feel like this was a waste of my time.
And it's none of the characters are
I feel
really
like you
there.
disliked it way more than I did, though.
I just don't like it. It's none of the characters are really there. Even though this was supposed to come out during Go Busters and Forze's heyday, they just kind of enter the movie and then leave the movie until the end.
This movie felt like someone had, a movie pre-written with some of their favorites and stuff at that point in time. It was and then you could insert whatever is new, the Sentai here and the Kamen Rider here, and then we could just write around it, and it's super easy.
Oh wait, should we say what the story is? Pretty much.
It feels, first of all, this plot feels a lot like someone made a bullet point list of okay, I want these things to happen in the movie, and then someone said great, and then just made that point by point the movie rather than writing in between and saying all the reasons why things exist and stuff.
Yeah, this movie is Decade versus Captain Marvelous from Gokaiger. Gokai Red versus Decade. Tsukasa, Marvelous, whoever your favorite is, they're both kind of dickwads in this one. They're just, literally, they kept, the first third of the movie is just them pointing at each other, just being he did it first!
No, it was, just well, I started killing the Kamen Riders because he was killing all the Sentai. And then they asked the other guy, and he's just I
was only killing the Sentai because they were killing all the Kamen Riders.
It's well, who started it first? He did.
Yeah, exactly. It's just
then you have to do it at the same time. It's just well, who did it first? He did.
See, that's better.
That's better.
We're not going to cut away. That's how it's going to be seen. And either way, it's not that great of a plot. Even the small bit of Gokaiger, we get to see mostly Joe, Gokai Blue, or the end kind of interaction.
We saw a lot of Gokai Green.
Yeah.
And yet they did almost nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
They were in this.
There.
But, yeah, they're just kind of there.
Hina's there.
Hina's just kind of there. She literally did.
She threw barrels for one scene and that's it.
Yeah, it looked like she was struggling. I'm just no, she would have thrown those pretty easily.
Yeah, exactly.
If you know O's at all. She has freakish super strength.
Edgy gets jobbed out pretty quickly. And, the rest of the Gokaiger...
Hey, he's there.
The other half of the Gokaiger team just gets taken out.
Of course, we see Deno, but we don't see,
Ryotaro.
Ryotaro.
Ryotaro's nowhere to be found. His grandson's nowhere to be found. It's just the Imagine for 3 seconds.
And also, Owner and also the coffee lady.
Naomi,
yeah.
And, that's pretty much the plot. We would have a scene where Marvelous is killing a Rider team, and then we would immediately then follow it up with a scene where they're now watching Decade kill a Sentai team. That's
it was they wrote one movie. It was oh no, this movie is way too short. So they just doubled it and then reversed it. Because it's so funny if you put these scenes together. They seem nearly identical to each other, just in reverse scenes.
Different plot little threads.
Even similar dialogue at times. Dang.
Yeah, it's one. He'd get mad at one general.
They literally both said "be gone" in the same kind of context. I'm just it felt lazy.
It just.
It felt like there wasn't it felt like there wasn't heart in it.
Yeah, some of the one-on-one fights were good.
Yeah, some of the one-on-one ones were really good. I really liked the choreography in some of them. I can tell they used wires and strings to like really emphasize with how their movement.
Especially
It looks really
the
cool.
Gokai Red Decade fight, that was cool because
That's actually
obviously
the
they
one
were
I'm
changing
talking
their
about.
powers.
Yeah, those are really fun. But like, at least like again with some other crossovers, I could see it's just like, okay, the person that wrote this had a point. Like they had like at least a story to tell. This one really just kind of felt like I'm watching one thing and then I'm suddenly watching another thing and then another thing.
Like, I get
And then it's
where
over.
Decade
I'm
got
like, oh.
his death army because he was always like a leader of Shocker, quote unquote. Like, I have no idea where Marvelous got like the Zangief army.
I think it was something like he somehow was involved in like their revival and then teamed up with them or something.
I have no idea.
Became their leader.
And then it's like, obviously it's ultimately revealed that they're like, they were bad. Which, by the way, there was the most confusing thing ever where they're like, oh, only Aqua Ranger would know. Let's go back in time.
Oh my god, yeah.
To get Aqua Ranger. And he's just saying, hey, we can coexist. We can do this.
Because we're both fighting to protect justice in the future. Now
And
take me to the future. And then they all just start fighting. All these people that are supposed... Because they take them to the present when they supposedly are already all dead.
Yeah.
And all the other people start showing up like they
the other
weren't
Ichigo,
already dead.
Yeah, Ichigo already died. He opened with Ichigo dying.
Yeah, they opened up with saying it's like, oh, they started with the older teams and then worked their way up, essentially.
And it was just stupid.
And then it's like, oh, apparently, like, the Gokai Red...
And
no,
Decade.
like, no, not Gokai Red. Fucking...
Aqua Red?
Aqua Red. Wasn't even Aqua Red.
No, it was Aqua Ranger, sorry.
Aqua Ranger.
Red's a different character.
Oh, okay. Well, Aqua Ranger and Ichigo were Decade and Gokai. Right? Yeah.
And they were just like, huh, we were fooling you. And then, like,
because we wanted to get
yes.
everyone all together at once. And now it's down to just us. And
yeah, and then, like, the villain group was like, actually, this was our twist all along. Don't you?
We wanted to gather you all to kill you or something, and we lied to you.
Yeah,
and then they're like, but joke's on you. It's like a bad heist movie. And they're like, we actually knew your guys' plot from the very beginning, so we were pretending to be evil, and instead of actually killing the people, we were sending them to a little pocket dimension. Here's our crew. Everyone comes out of all of these things. They're all fine. They're just like, we were in on it all along. And I'm just like, no, you weren't. You thought you were dead. For sure.
Exactly. You thought they were killed.
And just...
Like, yes, and we had some emotional scenes of, like, End or Joe just being like, how could you betray us?
Yeah, and after it's like, obviously, like... Then we have, like, these, like, individual, like, big groups of, like, people fighting. And those were fine, but nothing special in particular.
Like, the fighting isn't that fun. The story's a mess.
Yeah, like, it's not even like, oh, you get to see these people fight... Because they change suits so often, they don't really get to appreciate what was there. You don't even get to see
that many characters interact. Like I said,
yeah, it's like a lot of just suits fighting rather than interaction.
You see Meteor get killed, and then Forze's out of the movie. Then you see Go Busters fight Decade.
And I've heard, and you mentioned that like even the characters aren't even really good representations of themselves. Like they were poorly written.
They're so simplistic, and it just feels like they're trying to move the plot along.
Yeah,
it's like it's not dialogue that I feel like is there necessarily because the characters feel like they're the characters. It's like, no, they need to say this dialogue so they can move forward.
Oh my gosh. And then, like, after this big battle, and it's like, oh, the bad guys are defeated.
No, not even, wait, before that, they were like, oh, we're almost on the edge, and DN's like, not now, motherfuckers!
Oh yeah, because there's this whole thing of them trying to put these two pendants together to make...
form a giant robot
form a giant robot out of these two ships or something.
I think they called it.
Like, the ultimate treasure, blah, 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 something like that. And then he's... I shit you not, the reasoning is because... Decade, you were mean to me, and you made me sad, and you upset me, so I'm gonna, like, you hurt me, so, like, I'm gonna hurt you. This is literally the reason, and then, like, for whatever reason, Go Buster Yellow is just like, oh, I'm too injured, take my place.
I got chucked out of my thing. There was only one mecha! There was only one!
Yeah, and a thing where you have all of the Sentai and you're only gonna use one mecha.
Not like Super Go Buster O, not any upgraded version of Go Buster O, it's just Go Buster O.
And it's just Forze driving. It's not like, oh, him being in the cockpit, like, made it have, like, rocket feet or something.
Remember, it did give him rockets after he put the rocket switch in.
I didn't even notice.
It gave him rocket fists and then drill feet, remember?
I literally didn't even notice.
Yeah. Like,
it was that unimpactful.
Robot, little great machine thing kind of got its ass kicked real quick.
Oh, yeah, like, it just got taken out so easy. Which is funny, because, like, I feel like we watched a really big Sentai crossover. I don't know if Kamen Rider was involved, it probably was. Where it's like, you saw, like, all of the Sentai, and then they had, like, all of the mecha, or at least a lot of the mecha at one point, and it took so many of them to be able to defeat their foe. At least it, like, looked like it was an intimidating force to be reckoned with. With this, it was just like, a guy that's just like, my boyfriend's not paying attention to me and he upset me, so I'm gonna make him jealous. And then, like, and it's just like this big grand treasure that just gets taken out by one of the mech when there's like probably
With
more
some
than what,
Kamen
more
Rider
than
assistance.
like what, more than 50 at their disposal at the time.
Exactly. It's just like even in future sequels to SuperHero Taisen, I feel like they have grander robot fights than this. And it's
At least they usually show like multiple of them instead of just one.
Well, yeah, exactly. Where it's like the CGI itself was only
like
okay.
they even show like the Gokai like pirate ship.
Oh yeah, they show the Gokai galleon.
They show it, but they don't use it.
Yeah, they don't use Gokai-O or anything.
Oh, and by the way, these guys weren't even in it.
Yeah, like we didn't even. I don't think Beat or Stab were in the show.
Well, I was going to be like, were they in the show at that point?
No, I don't know. But like,
Go Busters is good. Go watch it. And also the Power Rangers adaptation was also very good from what we saw.
Yeah, we didn't finish it though.
We didn't finish it.
I
but
heard
it
got messy in the second season.
Ooh, really?
I think so.
Nah, that sucks.
I don't know, but it's just not a fun movie. It's kind of just like are you fucking kidding me?
It really, again, it just kind of felt like a waste of my time. I'm just like, what was the point of any of that?
Like, it's not that fun. The character interactions are just there.
Even
they kind of feel just one note and cardboard cutouts.
Even like with the end at the very end, like after he's obviously been beaten and blah blah blah. Decade tries to
the moral at the end.
Yeah, exactly. Decade tries to like help him. He's like, I don't want your pig, and it's like.
But before that, we had Marvelous say, and I guess the real treasure were the friends we made along the way.
And it's like, oh, at least he learned friendship or something like that. I'm like, what?
It's like, this was stupid.
And also, yes, that's basically what they said. Like, it wasn't exactly word per word,
it was like,
but
oh, friendship is the greatest treasure in the whole universe or something.
And it's just like, yeah, it's the friends we made along the way. It's like, you're shitting me.
Are you fucking kidding me? That's the ending of this movie?
Jesus.
Are you kidding me? Like,
Again, you seem to, like, truly, like, dislike this movie. I just kind of feel I have no desire to watch it ever again.
It's because it just feels like a waste of time, and I've seen this so many times, and you think I would have gained something out of it, but it just gets worse and worse and worse upon repeat viewings.
Yeah, I imagine this probably just gets worse the more that's, like, that you come to expect certain things, so it's like, to look out for it, and then you're just like, yeah, there's nothing else.
Yeah, there's just nothing here. The story's not great. The cameos aren't.
I feel like safe to say this is our both our bottom movie.
Yeah, this is the worst movie we have watched this year.
So far.
I think it will be topped if we do Z, which I do. We are going to probably do Z at some point. But it is. I don't.
Z.
By
the way.
SuperHero Taisen Z.
Oh,
the sequel
I see.
To SuperHero Taisen.
Oh, goody.
I think these movies honestly get worse as they go on. Yeah. Spoiler alert for my opinions. And if you enjoy them, please tell me what you like about them. I don't know. It's just I'm never really the one to just be like, oh, I want to see the suits fight together. No, I want to see the characters interact. I want to see
the personalities mesh.
Exactly. I want to see Ryotaro interact with I don't know, Decade, just having to deal with him.
Or even just voices. It's like, if you can't, get the actor there, because of, budget or because of, their schedule, I totally understand that. But it's like, you can't have them, voice memo you, some voice clips or something.
Yeah, exactly. It's just...
you can't just, hey, can you, record on your phone, this, couple things of dialogue, here's the context, and just send it to us when you're ready, because you can mess with it with voice modulators and stuff, and it could sound a lot more natural. It probably would be a little bit patchy, but at least it would be there.
Well, then the plot is so paper thin, there's not even that much to go over. It's literally just, they start killing each other back and forth, just explaining what they were doing. Then suddenly we go back in time, and they're suddenly just like, okay, now take me to the future, because I taught you the lesson. Actually, the lesson didn't matter in the first place. Now let's fight again, but now we're going to fight the bad guys, and then we're going to defeat the bad guys.
Guess what? I am the bad guy! Guess what? I am the bad guy. Wait, no, I'm the good guy.
And then I explode, and then the movie's over, and Diane's just like, It's like, fucking... this is only fun to describe, too. This isn't even that fun to watch.
I feel like us talking about it has probably been more entertaining.
If you like this movie, again, try to explain to me. What am I not seeing here? It's like, I don't
Even
even
if
know.
it-
Maybe it's because it's like, I'm also like...
Honestly, if they would have just had like a sense of humor about it and like put it like
Yeah, there
maybe
were barely any jokes.
can you imagine if like they just like added some jokes in there about like how weird and like
how
over the top everything is, and like they overacted, or just like if there's like one like straight man in there that's just like, guys, this does not make sense. Like, wouldn't that have just made it better?
Well, yeah, then it's like, again, we had like maybe a cast of 4 people.
Kind
and
of.
like Hina barely did anything, and she
Yeah.
was part of that cast.
Like they purposefully made sure to like show her along the way, but she literally had no reason
Yeah,
to
exactly.
be there.
She
She
just
didn't
was
even
at
have
one
the
point
typical.
just because all of a sudden Joe was like, "I'm gonna kill you, the end," and then she's like, and
No.
then Dawn was like, "No, you have to think. Even that girl over there saw Marvelous kill her friends, and
But
he's
she
just
still
like,
wanted to
"Ugh."
save
and all of a sudden,
you.
like, and then Hina's like, "It's true. It's stupid."
It's like it's not even in like, you know, like the like anime way of like having someone by the wayside just be like, oh my god, their power is incredible, it must be something like this or something. You know, you understand what I mean when I like do that with like, oh, the
Yeah.
bystanders adding the commentary and telling the audience how powerful they are.
Yeah.
She didn't even do that. It wasn't even close to anything
Yeah,
like
exactly.
that.
Wait, but we
She was
did
just
get to
kind of
see
watching
Oz
silently.
give the Gokaijers all his powers.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
That was cool. Until they just used the cannon and they called it good.
Yeah,
didn't
it was
even
there
see
for
them fully
literally like
fight.
10 seconds. It was
Yeah.
for like 10 seconds.
But yeah, no. So I don't know. What was
Maybe.
your guys' favorite moment? I really don't have one.
By the way, this
like
is-
that Decay just reveals that, like, DMs just reveals like I was the true villain the whole time.
Yeah, and this movie's like what, an hour and 20 minutes?
It's an hour and like 30 minutes.
Something like that, and it's on YouTube. So like, if you guys have an interest in it and you have like some time to kill, go right ahead.
I can't.
Let us know
I
how
can't
you.
recommend you watch it though.
I don't
It's
recommend
not that
it.
Good.
I don't recommend it, but if you have an
Even
interest,
if you're a fan
go
of
ahead.
Gokaiger, Forze, Go Busters, O's, like, you're not gonna get anything out of it.
It's weird because like they're the main characters, but I almost want to say, oh, you don't see much of them. It's like, no, they were the main characters. Like, but it really
but
feels
you
like
don't see many of them.
you don't really get to.
Edgy's
You don't get
gone
to
for
like
most of the
experience
movie.
them. You don't even really get to experience them. I guess you
Yeah.
could say. They're just kind of there
But yeah, I think that's it.
as the plot just like slowly drags them along.
Yeah. But we have something to look forward to next week.
Oh, really?
Yes, because I'm not letting Bellerock steal my thunder on this one. Because you know how I like to cover recent releases on this movie, and we've had actually 2 pretty recent releases as of late in Shin Kamen Rider and Shin Ultraman. So, we are going to be doing Shin Kamen Rider next week, followed by Shin Ultraman.
Ooh.
I'm excited to watch it.
Let's look forward to it.
So, I know we pretty much just phased in, but I really don't think we have much else to say about this
I
stupid
really
fucking movie.
don't, funny enough. I feel like I should have more to say.
I don't like it. No, sir, I don't like it.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching.
And we'll see you next week for Shin Kamen Rider. Until then, thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.